Greetings to all viewers of Freedom TV channel. Thank you for being with us. This is our time. We'll tell you about the main news at this hour. In the studio, Yuri Kulinik. Hello? Today, Ukraine honors the memory of defenders, both men and women, members of volunteer formations, and civilians who were killed, tortured, or died in captivity. The date, July 28th, was not chosen by chance. 3 years ago, on the night of July 28th to 29th, 2022, Russia deliberately carried out a mass killing of prisoners of war at the former correctional colony number 120 in the temporarily occupied territory of Donetsk region. As a result of the terrorist attack in Olenivka, at least 53 Ukrainian defenders were killed and another 130 were wounded. This terrorist attack was a premeditated crime by Russia, according to the United Nations. Last night, Russia attacked Ukraine again, launching 324 drones, as well as 4 Kh-101 cruise missiles and 3 Kinzhal aeroballistic missiles. The defense forces neutralized 309 Russian drones and 2 cruise missiles. According to the Ukrainian Air Force, the main target of today's strike was Starokostiantynov in the Khmelnytsky region. There have been confirmed hits, as well as the fall of downed Russian aerial targets in several locations. At the same time, the Kinzhal missiles launched by the Russians did not accomplish their mission, as noted by the Ukrainian Air Force. Explosions were heard in Kropivnitsky, Khmelnytsky region. There were also reports of explosions and air defense activity from Zaporizhia. It was also tense in Kiev and the Kiev region. 8 people were injured as a result of the Russian night attack on the capital of Ukraine. Among them is a girl who will turn 3 in a month. 4 of the injured were hospitalized by doctors, one of them in serious condition. All those injured are residents of a high-rise building in one of the districts of the capital. There, as a result of the strike, windows were shattered from the 3rd to the 11th floors. In some apartments, the floors, ceilings, furniture, and household appliances were damaged. And in the courtyard, cars parked next to the building were affected.
There was some kind of flash of light. I ran to the bathroom because the glass started falling and it got scary. I'm okay, but in one of the rooms in my apartment, 4 windows and the frame on one side were blown out. It was also really strange that when I ran to the bathroom, the vent cover blew out. I've never seen anything like that before. And plaster started falling down.
I woke up, heard them shooting down a Shahid, then there was a huge explosion, and everything was covered in glass. We got up, gathered our things, turned off the lights and water, and left the apartment. The police were there. They drew up a report, an official statement about what was destroyed. The force of the blast completely blew out the windows. As you can see, it's missing on the left. And all the window panes were just shattered. I can also see that the air conditioners are damaged.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky responded to yet another act of aerial terror by the Russians. He acknowledged the work of the defense forces, drone units, Army aviation and Air Force aviation, anti-aircraft gunners, air defense units, and mobile fire teams. Let me remind you, hundreds of Russian drones and cruise missiles have been neutralized. Ukrainians know how to defend themselves, and they definitely will, emphasized Volodymyr Zelensky. We are constantly strengthening Ukraine's air shield, and it is very important to ensure that our partners fully understand exactly how they can help. Step by step, we are closing the funding gap for drone production, and this week I will have new talks with partners on this issue. The Minister of Defense of Ukraine and the Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council are carrying out the relevant assignments at their level. Volodymyr Zelensky, President of Ukraine. A drone from Belarus violated Lithuanian airspace. The unmanned aerial vehicle was spotted near Vilnius, according to Lithuanian media. According to the National Crisis Management Center, local residents reported the drone. It was seen at an altitude of about 200 meters. The type and purpose of the drone remain unknown.
Given that military exercises are being prepared in Belarus, the likelihood of any incidents, including unintentional ones, increases. We are working intensively together with the internal affairs system. What additional measures could we take to ensure better monitoring of the airspace? Tomorrow, the President will hold a meeting where we will present our proposals. Dovil Sakaliin, Minister of National Defense of Lithuania.
Next, let's talk about the situation at the front. There were 158 combat clashes there in the past 24 hours. These are the figures from the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Defense forces repelled 57 attacks by Russian invaders in the Pokrovsk direction, 18 in the Lyman sector of the front, and 12 in the Donetsk sector. It was also tense in other directions in the east. Ukrainian defenders repelled 10 Russian attacks in the Novopavlivka sector. Fighting also continued in the South Siversk, Slobozansk, as well as North Slobozansk and Kursk directions.
In the Pokrovsk and Novopavlivka directions, even if the enemy doesn't achieve its objectives, it still holds the initiative, meaning it imposes its actions on the battlefield. In the Kursk region, the situation is radically different. We're not defeating the enemy there, but nevertheless, the armed forces of Ukraine have managed to seize the initiative in the Sumy direction. So it's not the Russians dictating how we act on the battlefield, but we are responding proactively.
As of today, the total combat losses of the Russian army since the start of the full-scale invasion have already exceeded 1,050,000 people. Of those, thousands of occupiers were eliminated in the past 24 hours. This was reported by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in their morning briefing. And also, according to the information you see on your screens, over the past day Ukrainian forces destroyed another 4 Russian tanks and the same number of artillery systems, an armored vehicle, as well as a multiple launch rocket system, 235 operational tactical and technical level drones, and more than 100 units of automotive equipment. They are blocking the advance of Russian occupiers, eliminating infantry and military equipment. The intensity of fighting in the Lyman direction in the Donetsk region is not decreasing. Among those holding the defense in this section of the front are the servicemen of the 60th Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. The enemy is also being held back by Ukrainian strike drone crews. A report from the position of FPV drone operators on the front line near Lyman is featured in our story.
For over a year now, the Ukrainian strike drone crew of the 60th Brigade has been stopping the advance of Russian troops in the Lyman direction of the Donetsk region. With the help of FPV drones, the operators destroy shelters, enemy personnel, and Russian military equipment.
An FPV drone, the F-10, is hidden here, equipped with an improvised explosive device.
This strike drone can carry a combat payload weighing about 2 kilograms. Engineers from the unit prepare it for operation right at the positions.
Installing the initiation board. Then attaching the payload and the battery.
To operate FPV drones, the combat crew consists of 3 servicemen, the operator, the navigator, and the one who controls the movement of the signal relay drone.
This is our relay drone. It receives the signal from the FPV drone and transmits it down to us on the ground. We can raise it high enough so that we can bring the FPV drone down to the ground and hit the target more accurately.
The soldiers say that in their sector, the enemy keeps unsuccessfully trying to use the tactic of advancing in small infantry groups. Their task is to reach and hold positions on Ukrainian territory. That's why the goal of Ukrainian strike drone operators is to prevent Russian troops from taking positions.
There are days when we fly 20 sorties, 15. They keep coming. A lot of infantry, really a lot. Several times they even tried using vehicles. Nothing worked for them, but there's still a lot of infantry. They crawl through in 2s and 3s.
What is the height?
100.
Let's go a little higher.
Come on higher.
150 somewhere.
I know where we are. You say it, do it.
Hey,
Yes, control is back.
FPV on approach. Oh, you're beautiful.
Pre-work.
Yes, that's what I needed.
Plus.
According to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Russian troops carry out up to 24 attacks daily in the Lyman direction. All of them are being stopped thanks to the coordinated work of Ukrainian aerial reconnaissance, strike drone crews, and artillery. Alexei Baranovsky from Donetsk region for Freedom TV channel.